Welcome to The Bottom Line Up Front, the podcast that cuts through the noise to deliver distilled insights from today's most important technical webinars, presentations, and demonstrations. Designed for federal and military IT leaders, each episode breaks down complex technologies into mission-ready takeaways so you get the key points fast. Whether it's cybersecurity, cloud architecture, or emerging defense technologies, we highlight what matters most and how trusted integrators like ATP Gov can help implement and operationalize these solutions across your agency or command. No fluff, no filler, just the bottom line up front. Let's face it, your Red Hat or CentOS workloads are stable, your missions are ongoing, and leadership says don't break anything. In the federal and DoD environments, migrations are never just an upgrade. They ripple through ATO packages, RMF controls, revalidation, STIG baselines, interconnectivity tests, and there's always possible operational downtime. What if you could keep those workloads as is, avoid risky migrations, and still get timely CVE patches and enterprise support? That's the promise behind SUSE Multi-Linux Support. Zero migration, zero retraining, zero disruption. So today on The Bluff, we're going to compare the big three in government, Red Hat, Ubuntu, and SUSE. And we're going to call out where SUSE differentiates with its open ethos, multi-distro management, and the services designed to de-risk complex and heterogeneous data centers. After attending a recent product brief and digesting SUSE's new ebook, the point is simple. When budgets and schedules are tight, zero migration options earn their keep. SUSE's offering provides regular CVE patching and maintenance on a predictable cadence, minimizing retesting and retraining. Think of it as an enterprise support and patching safety net for existing Red Hat and CentOS workloads. SUSE aims for ABI-level compatibility so that your user space apps keep functioning with equivalent performance and functionality, and SUSE backports fixes to remediate vulnerabilities without breaking interfaces you already rely on. Fix what matters without changing what works. That's the critical government angle. And SUSE isn't new to the government space. They've been at this for 3 decades. They shipped one of the earliest enterprise Linux distributions and have long experience managing multi-Linux environments, and this has all been formalized as SUSE Multi-Linux Manager, which is a single pane of glass for over 16 different Linux distributions. SUSE also has a world-class support team that covers not only SUSE, but other distributions too. Now, if you're considering a transition or a migration plan later down the road to a SUSE distribution, SUSE Global Services also provides premium named engineers, consulting, and e-learning to de-risk that entire journey. And by de-risking that journey, that means zero migration, zero retraining, by preserving operational tempo and avoiding re-ATO churn. The ABI compatibility approach keeps your apps running and fixes are backported to maintain stability. And the multi-distro management that SUSE provides gives unified support and aligns to the heterogeneous nature of your data centers across agencies and even commands. Now let's switch gears and do a federally focused comparison. As best we can, let's address the big three, that being Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Ubuntu, and SUSE, in a familiar SWOT format. So let's talk about the strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats of these operating systems. First up, Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Its strengths are obvious: broad ISV certification, mature lifecycle, extensive tooling, and it's widely adopted in federal programs. But there are some considerations. The subscription model and recent ecosystem changes can drive re-evaluation. Migrations between major releases can be non-trivial, especially for legacy apps and accreditation packages. When does Red Hat fit into your enterprise? That all comes in standardization at scale, where the agency already has deep Red Hat enterprise automation and accreditation artifacts. So if you've already standardized on Red Hat Enterprise with significant ISV dependencies and accreditation artifacts, that's a strong baseline. And when a major migration isn't feasible, this is where SUSE can step in with its multi-Linux support, keeping your current workloads secure and supported while you plan your next steps. Now, let's talk a little bit about Ubuntu. Its strengths: fast cadence, strong container and cloud story, and developer familiarity. Considerations: divergent packaging. For example, snaps and support posture may require additional validation for air-gapped and STIG-hardened environments. When it fits in your environment, it's all about cloud-forward workloads, lab and innovation spaces, and rapid prototyping that will later lead to hardening and production deployment. Ubuntu's cadence and cloud tooling make it great for innovation cycles. However, for programs needing centralized control across mixed fleets and air-gap sustainment, SUSE's multi-distro management and support posture can reduce variance and risk. And finally, let's talk about SUSE head-on. Its strengths: multi-Linux support to protect existing Red Hat Enterprise and CentOS estates without focusing on migration. And the Multi-Linux Manager is used to orchestrate mixed fleets from one console. SUSE also has long experience in cross-distribution support scenarios. Some considerations: if you choose to standardize on SUSE, plan a phased path to re-baseline your STIGs and controls and update all of the automation. Where it fits in your environment: it's really designed for agencies needing immediate risk reduction on aging Red Hat Enterprise and CentOS workloads, or those deliberately running a heterogeneous estate and wanting one belly button to poke for supporting and patching. But these technology choices are only half the story. Execution wins the day. Many programs are stuck between compliance pressure and operational risk. SUSE's model directly addresses the gap. We need to keep current workloads in place, patch and support them, and centralize their management. Then migrate on your own timeline and not the vendors. So what we're recommending is you assess your Linux estate, whether that's Red Hat, CentOS, Ubuntu, or existing SUSE deployments. You need to compare those against the mission, your ATOs, and your sustainment constraints. Identify workloads that benefit most from SUSE Multi-Linux support for immediate stabilization. If we're continuing on this journey, we need to integrate the SUSE Multi-Linux Manager to give operators a single pane of glass across mixed fleets with workflows aligned to RMF and continuous monitoring, as well as change controls. After that, we definitely need to harden the systems. We need to map patch channels to STIG baselines, air-gapped repos, and CVE service level agreements, whereby we can build playbooks for zero downtime and maintenance windows. And finally, if we're looking to incorporate SUSE into the environment, we definitely need to build a roadmap. It's the type of plan where it becomes an if or when you choose to consolidate onto SUSE with SUSE Global Services and their engineering support, but also incorporating migration pilots and knowledge transfer to your operators. The theme is freedom to maneuver for your program office, but we have to stabilize first and migrate later. So what's the bottom line up front of implementing SUSE into your existing Linux environment? You have choices, and let's make one that accelerates outcomes and not risk. So if you're currently running Red Hat Enterprise or CentOS in production and the mandate is keep the mission running, SUSE Multi-Linux Support lets you stay on top of your current workloads while receiving enterprise-grade security patches, maintenance updates, and unified support. You can keep your current Red Hat and CentOS workloads in place. We're talking zero migration. We can retain ABI-level compatibility and still get a steady drumbeat of CVE patches and maintenance. SUSE's ABI-compatible user space preserves application behavior, and backport fixes reduce breakage risk. SUSE is capable of maintaining 16 different distributions centrally with its SUSE Multi-Linux Manager. That unifies your support completely. And again, zero migration, zero retraining, and zero disruption means preserving mission continuity and reducing the cost and risk now. In fairness, I'll say SUSE Multi-Linux Support is something you should compare for yourself against Red Hat and Ubuntu, especially if you're a federal and DoD team who can't afford downtime. And if you'd like to conduct your own research, we recommend checking out the ebook referenced in this episode, 5 Reasons Why Linux Choice Matters by SUSE, and we'll include that in our show notes. And as a reminder, this episode provides analysis and commentary based on publicly available SUSE materials, so always evaluate against your program's accreditation, STIGs, and mission constraints. And if you need help with that, please don't hesitate to contact ATP Gov for a mission-first discovery session and learn more about the SUSE Multi-Linux Support and SUSE Global Services. Be sure to reach out to ATP Gov today at www.atpgov.com or email info@atpgov.com or check us out on social media on LinkedIn. Thanks for listening, and be sure to subscribe to The Bottom Line up front wherever you get your podcasts, and stay tuned for more distilled insights from the front lines of tech and national security. So until next time, stay secure, stay mission ready.